What's going on, guys? This is my post-ride review of the Honda Goldwing. Got to send a huge shout out to Hunter, Tommy, and the rest of the crew over at Stubbs Cycles for allowing me the opportunity to bring you this bike. But they went above and beyond for me on this one. They turned me loose with a 50th anniversary Honda Goldwing. Guys, thank y'all so very much. This was my first time to ever ride one of those machines, and so to be initiated with this type of a bike, oh my goodness, you can imagine how excited I was. So I want to talk about the riding experience of this machine primarily, because the technology suite, we could be here forever. I don't want it to sound like I'm just reading out of a brochure for you guys, but if you can think of the technology, this bike had it. Whether it's navigation, heated seats, heated grips, electronically adjustable windshield. I'll put a link in the description below where I have the ride review portion of this pair of videos that I'm putting out on this motorcycle, but this bike even has a walk forward feature and a reverse that's engine powered, not electric, but actually tied to the DCT automatic transmission that this motorcycle was paired with. So much connectivity and so much technology that literally any luxury car that is sold today would be doing well to have most of what this bike comes from the factory. So in saying all of that, what is this motorcycle like to ride? Well, firstly, I've got to admit, I was a little bit intimidated by this thing. I mean, you've seen a Goldwing before, right? I mean, it is the biggest thing on two wheels that you can throw a leg over, it seems like. And at roughly 850 pounds with all fluids, it's pretty darn heavy too. But once I did get on this motorcycle and got myself acquainted with where my hands were going to sit and where my feet were going to rest on the pegs, it immediately became incredibly comfortable. And because that 1800cc flat six sits so low in the motorcycle, the center of gravity is dropped as far as you can get it. Well, what that does is it makes the bike feel very flickable. It makes it feel much lighter than it really is. And so because of that, any intimidation factor that I initially may have had immediately went away just by throwing my leg over and sitting and pulling that bike up to a neutral position. I knew right away I was going to feel right at home with this thing. So you get the thing fired up and the engine is so silky smooth. You almost don't even realize that there's an engine running anywhere around you. And in full disclosure, I have to say that I want to believe that refinement is the overall value that would describe this motorcycle in general. Everything was perfectly refined. The way that the engine was absolutely without any vibration whatsoever. Very clinical in that respect. And so once I started to ride the motorcycle and put some speed underneath me, one of the weird things that I came away with was just how smooth everything was. Just like a car in a way. You didn't get any kind of character coming through the handlebars or the pegs. It was very white lab coat in the way that it was going down the road. Powerful, yes, but still very smooth and not distracting. And I got the sense that this machine really was put together to not only eat up miles, it was meant to eat up full states at a time. I mean, we're talking putting on 300, 400, 500 miles easily at any given point on your journey, because there is nothing to distract you and nothing to take your focus away from the road and the view that you are taking in on this machine. So is that a takeaway? Really? Not that much. I would say that there's a lot of power and a lot of character to this motorcycle. The DCT transmission with its multiple modes made riding very comfortable and of course took away any level of distraction that you may have had. And so because of that, it does seem like this machine is very well purpose built. Eat up a ton of miles on the highway and do so in a very friendly manner. Now, that's not to say the motorcycle didn't have a little bit of chops when it comes to switching lanes. I was a bit surprised with how lively the machine was. Again, take into account the size of the thing, it's not like it was crazy flickable like a standard motorcycle. You wouldn't expect that, but given the heft of the thing, you also wouldn't expect it to be as light on its feet as it was. So taking all of that into account, guys, I gotta say, I left the experience much more impressed than I thought I was going to coming into my first ride on a Honda Goldwing. And I was immediately reminded why so many guys had told me that I needed to ride one of these bikes, and that I would immediately understand why so many people choose them for their touring adventures. With that, guys, post up your comments. Let me know what you think about that. Again, the ride-along video will be linked in the description below. Hope to see you on the next one. Take care, guys.